Picture the Nile in flood, around 2650 BCE. The river has turned the valley into a mirror of the sky, and on the western bank at Saqqara the water laps against the cliffs like a slow heartbeat. Atop those cliffs, a man stands barefoot on sun-warmed limestone, a linen kilt knotted at his waist, a reed pen tucked behind his ear. He squints south toward Memphis, then north toward the delta, then lifts his gaze to the horizon where the desert meets the sky. His name is Imhotep, and in his mind a single thought is crystallizing. I will build a house for the king that will outlast the river itself. No one has ever built in cut stone before. No one has ever stacked 6 mastabas into the sky. No one has ever dared to make eternity visible. But Imhotep is about to do all three, and in the process he will become the first individual in recorded history whose name, genius, and legacy we can still touch. Rewind a generation. Egypt is in its 3rd dynasty, a time of restless energy. The 1st and 2nd dynasties buried their kings under flat-topped mud-brick mastabas at Abydos and Saqqara. The afterlife was a dark chamber beneath a mound of sand. Pharaoh Djoser, Neturikid on his seals, wants more. He wants a tomb that screams permanence, a monument that will anchor his Ka, his soul, for millions of years. He summons the brightest mind in the realm, Imhotep, son of Canofer, a commoner from the Memphis suburbs who rose through scribal schools on raw intellect. Imhotep is already chancellor, high priest of Heliopolis, overseer of the granaries and royal seal-bearer. But Djoser gives him a new title that no one has ever held, chief of works for the king in the entire land. Translation: build me something impossible. The site is Saqqara, a low plateau west of Memphis where the desert wind smells of salt and resin. Beneath the sand lie the tombs of 1st dynasty nobles, their mud-brick walls already crumbling. Imhotep walks the plateau at dawn, sketching on potsherds, measuring with cubit rods of ebony and copper. He notices the limestone bedrock is flawless, white, fine-grained, perfect for carving. He orders quarries opened at Tura across the river, where the stone is even purer. Teams of laborers, tens of thousands, begin hauling blocks on sledges lubricated with Nile silt. Imhotep invents the logistics: ramps, levers, copper chisels hardened with arsenic. He standardizes the royal cubit at 52.3 centimeters so every block fits like a puzzle. And he draws the first true architectural plan in history, a grid of ink on papyrus showing a square mastaba 63 meters on each side, rising 8 meters high. But that is only phase 1. Phase 2 is the revolution. Imhotep decides to stack a second, smaller mastaba on top of the first, then a third, then 3 more, each offset inward, creating a 6-tiered pyramid 62.5 meters tall, the height of a 20-story building in a world that has never seen stairs. The structure is not a true pyramid with smooth sides. It is a step pyramid, a staircase for the pharaoh's soul to climb to the stars. Imhotep encases the entire core in gleaming Tura limestone so bright it hurts to look at directly. Sunlight bounces off the casing and turns the plateau into a furnace of reflected glory. From Memphis, 10 kilometers away, the pyramid is a white fang against the sky, visible proof that Djoser has tamed eternity. But Imhotep does not stop at the pyramid. Beneath it he excavates a labyrinth, 5.7 kilometers of tunnels, shafts, and magazines, some lined with blue faience tiles imitating reed matting, others painted with reliefs of Djoser running the Hebsed race, a ritual proving the king's eternal vigor. One chamber holds 40,000 stone vessels, alabaster, diorite, schist, filled with food, oil, and wine for the afterlife. Another shaft plunges 28 meters straight down, then angles into a granite burial vault sealed with a 3-ton plug. Imhotep invents the portcullis, the false door, the serdab, a sealed statue chamber with eye holes so Djoser's Ka can watch the living world. Every detail is calculated. Every corridor is a trap for tomb robbers. The entire complex covers 15 hectares and includes a mortuary temple, pavilions, and a massive enclosure wall 10.5 meters high, its surface carved to mimic bundled reeds, architecture pretending to be nature, permanence pretending to be life. How do we know Imhotep designed it? His name is carved everywhere, but never with the word king. On a statue base of Djoser found in the complex, the inscription reads, "The Chancellor of the King of Lower Egypt, the first after the King of Upper Egypt, administrator of the Great Palace, hereditary noble, high priest of Heliopolis, Imhotep the builder, the sculptor, the maker of stone vases." No architect before him is named. No architect after him will match his versatility for 1,000 years. The Greeks will call him Imouths and worship him as a god. The Egyptians will deify him as the son of Ptah, patron of craftsmen. But in 2650 BCE, he is simply the man who made stone obey thought. Imhotep's genius is not just architectural, it is systemic. He organizes a workforce of 100,000 men in rotating shifts, 3 months on, 1 month off, so families do not starve. He invents a ration system: bread, beer, onions, fish, recorded on clay tablets in the world's first bureaucratic handwriting. He designs copper tools with ergonomic handles, experiments with mortar recipes, and solves the problem of moving 50-ton blocks up ramps by wrapping them in wet papyrus that hardens into a sled. He even composes the inscriptions. The pyramid texts will not appear for another century, but Imhotep carves Djoser's Horus name, Neturikhet, inside blue faience tiles that spell eternity in color. Yet Imhotep is more than an engineer. Ancient texts credit him with medicine. 1,000 years after his death, the Edwin Smith Papyrus, a surgical treatise, will describe diagnosing a dislocated shoulder with the phrase, "as Imhotep said." He writes proverbs: "Eat bread with a glad heart, for tomorrow is uncertain." He designs canals to control the inundation, ensuring grain for 7 years of famine. He is astronomer enough to align the pyramid's north face to true north within 4 arc minutes, more accurate than the Parthenon. He is sculptor enough to carve Djoser's statue with eyes inlaid in rock crystal that seem to follow you across the serdab. Polymath is too small a word. Imhotep is the prototype of the Renaissance man, 2 millennia before the Renaissance. The pyramid takes 19 years to build. When it is finished, Djoser performs the Hebsed inside a replica courtyard carved in stone. He runs between markers, shoots arrows, lifts a flail, proof to the gods that he is still vigorous at 70. Imhotep stands beside him, no longer young, his scalp shaved, his eyes ringed with kohl. The king offers him a golden collar. Imhotep refuses, asking instead for a small mastaba nearby. It is granted. When Imhotep dies, date unknown. Cause unknown. His tomb is lost, probably beneath the sands of North Saqqara. But his legacy is the pyramid itself, the first large-scale stone building in history, the moment architecture leaves the realm of mud brick and enters the age of immortality. Centuries pass. The Step Pyramid inspires Sneferu's 3 pyramids at Djoser, then Khufu's Great Pyramid at Giza. Every pharaoh copies the enclosure wall, the serdab, the false doors, but none copy Imhotep's name. By the New Kingdom, temples to Imhotep spring up at Memphis, Falah, and Deir el-Medina. Pilgrims leave votive ears asking for healing. Bronze statuettes show him seated, scroll on lap, calm as eternity. The Greeks identify him with Asclepius. Hippocrates studies his medical sayings. In the late period, a biography claims he was born of a virgin touched by Ptah's breath, Egypt's answer to divine conception. By Ptolemaic times, processions carry his statue alongside Ptah and Sekhmet. He is no longer a man. He is the god of wisdom, medicine, and architecture. Stand today at Saqqara. The pyramid's casing is gone, stripped for Cairo's medieval walls, but the 6 steps still climb into the sky like a giant staircase. Wind whistles through the colonnades, jackals howl at dusk. Tourists climb the 250-foot height and feel the same vertigo Imhotep felt when he first sketched the plan. Beneath the rubble, graffiti from 1200 BCE reads, "I, the scribe Ptahhotep, came to see the horizon of Imhotep." Even then, 2,000 years after his death, people made pilgrimages to touch his work. Archaeologists still search for Imhotep's tomb. In 1964, A mastaba north of the enclosure yielded statues of scribes and a life-size limestone Imhotep seated, serene, his name in hieroglyphs across his kilt. Is it his? Maybe. The face is calm, intelligent, slightly amused, the face of a man who solved problems no one else had imagined. Nearby, a tunnel complex mirrors the pyramid's understructure, as if Imhotep wanted his own afterlife to echo Djoser. Whether it is his tomb or not, the search itself is tribute. We are still chasing the shadow of a man who lived 4,700 years ago. Imhotep's true monument is not stone but influence. He proves that genius can rise from anywhere. A commoner's son becomes the king's right hand. He proves that innovation can be systematic. Every ramp, every tool, every ration tablet is a brick in the pyramid of progress. He proves that architecture can be theology. The step pyramid is not just a tomb but a ladder to the stars, a contract between earth and heaven. And he proves that memory can outlast granite. Khufu's pyramid is larger, but no one remembers Khufu's architect. Imhotep's name is carved on Djoser's statue, whispered in temples, written in Greek papyrus, spoken today in lecture halls from Tokyo to Chicago. Walk the Saqqara plateau at sunset. The sky turns the color of electrum and the pyramid's silhouette sharpens against the west. Somewhere beneath your feet, Imhotep's bones may lie, but his mind is in the stones. He is the first named genius because he did what no one had done, then taught the world how to do it again. He is the first polymath because he refused to choose between medicine and engineering, art and administration, earth and sky. He is the first deified mortal because Egypt needed a human face for divine creativity. And he is the reason that, 4,700 years later, when we look at a child stacking blocks into a tower, we smile and think, Imhotep. The river still floods, the desert still encroaches, but the step pyramid stands, 6 giant steps toward eternity, each one a footprint of the man who dared to build the impossible. Imhotep did not just serve a king, he served time itself, and time in the end served him.